kind of go over the setup here. So, talk. Demo. There you go.
Request that everyone please turn off or mute all cell phones and other electronic devices. At this time, please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Applications for rezonings heard during tonight's meeting will be voted on by the Planning and Zoning Commission. The commission will then make a recommendation on the applications, which will be submitted to the St. Charles County Council for their final decision. The individual items and bills for this evening's applications are scheduled to be introduced at the Monday, June 8th, 2020 County Council meeting. Application for preliminary plats and temporary fireworks stands heard during tonight's meeting will also be voted on by the Planning and Zoning Commission. During the meeting, the vote on preliminary plats and temporary fireworks stands is final only. Only if a recommendation for the denial of a preliminary plat or temporary fireworks stand would be heard before the County Council. The following documents are introduced as a matter of record for this evening's public hearing and regular meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Those documents are the Unified Development Ordinance of St. Charles County, including zoning maps, the year 2030 Master Plan for St. Charles County, which includes the year 2030 Future Land Use Plan map. I see that we have a quorum. Do I have a motion to open the meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, sign aye.
Aye.
Okay. This is a little different. Our meeting last month was virtual, and now we're in this gigantic room this month. Procedure will be, I will read the application into the record. The staff will give a report. We will have the applicant come forward to make their presentation. Then we will have a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak regarding the application may do so. In this room, typically the applicant and the public hearing, they're here in the middle, but you're over on this far side, over toward Councilman Hollander. That's where you'll speak from. Where are the speaker cards? Over there. You'll find a little index card. Please fill that out with your name and address so that we get that correct in our minutes. Once the public hearing has been closed, we will have the applicant come back, answer any questions that may have arisen, and then the commission will consider the application and vote. That is our normal procedure. First on the agenda, we have numerous temporary fireworks stand conditional use permits. The first is FWK 20-01. The applicant is Marty Fears, Show Me Services LLC. Property owner is Martha A. Keevan Revocable Living Trust. Zoning is C2 General Commercial District. The location is on the east side of Highway K, approximately 250 feet south of the intersection of Fallon Parkway and Highway K, located in Council District 3. Staff.
All right. This is a fireworks location that has previously been in operation. Two of the things that staff does check is that there have not been any complaints filed, and we have not received any. We've also not received any letters of any concern in regard to this fireworks stand. Staff is recommending approval. There is an additional special condition that we'll be asking for on all of the fireworks stands tonight, and that is that the applicant, owner, and/or operator of the fireworks stand authorized under the CUP is responsible for ensuring that their staff and customers are abiding by the public health orders of the county and state that are currently in place, and as they may be in the future amended, revised, or supplemented for the duration of the CUP. Any violations of those orders are unlawful and could result in prosecution through the county municipal court. The most up-to-date and latest county policies are available on the St. Charles County website. This county website has detailed information, sccmo.org, including recommended strategies on how to protect the owner, operator, staff, and customers from the spread of the disease, and further guidance on what burdens are placed upon the owner, operator during the COVID-19 pandemic.
The new condition, is that been added to the
That would be added to the standard conditions already that we place every year on and that we review prior to presentation.
Any questions for staff? Hearing none, we'll ask the applicant to come forward. If the applicant is here, Do not see the applicant. We will now open the public hearing for FWK 20-01, temporary fireworks stand conditional use permit located at 2896 Highway K. Anyone wishing to speak?
Thank you very much, members of the commission. Sure.
You know the drill.
It's a different room, I'm sorry.
You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings under the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Arnie C. A.C. Dinoff, County and Citizen Public Advocate, and my mailing address is P.O. Box 1535, O'Fallon. And Mr. Chairman, I had a question. I was going to testify in all these cases because they all are germane to each one. Do you want me to just testify once or each time?
Once would be great.
Okay, so I just want to go through my list. And first of all, I'd like to see the county staff and the county commission and also the county council update the fireworks ordinance and the code. As you all know, some of these fireworks stands make their entire living within this 1 month to 6 month or 6 week period. They can generate a great deal of revenue. And I think that these tent owners are responsible to the community. They put additional tasks on our public safety services, such as police response, fire response, and et cetera. The use of code enforcement, planning and zoning staff. The current fee, in my opinion, is too low. And I think that the tent owners and the fireworks vendors and peddlers need to step up to the plate and move that fee more in the line of $10,000 to $15,000 for an annual tent fee license. I would like to make sure that there is adequate bonding to ensure tent removal of any gravel driveways, so that the property that they either rent or own is restored to its original state, and that grass be seed and growth commence before October of that June, July area when they do their sales. The parking areas, I want to ensure that there is adequate handicap parking for people who have problems with a handicap and to meet full compliance with ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act. I want to ensure that our children of our community are adequately protected. That number one, this tent doesn't allow any employees of more than under the age of 18, and that they don't have sales of fireworks to anybody under the age of 18. It should only be sold to adults over the age of 18. Security at night is a question and is a concern of many of these tents. As I've gone around the county last year and observed some of these tents, sometimes the owner sleeps there overnight or has a member of their family be on the property and the premise to ensure adequate public safety. But if the owner isn't there on the property, I'd like to see the county code address security concerns and the hiring of off-duty police or a security firm to ensure that the fireworks doesn't get in the wrong type of hands. Finally, there's another couple issues, restroom availability. A lot of these stands don't offer restrooms either to an adjoining building of property that they're renting, or the mirror that they could rent a porta potty for a small cost. I think that's very important to offer that to the citizens, especially in today's age with COVID-19. We heard some of the new concerns and conditions placed on the applicants. That brings up a new question about COVID-19. Is there going to be adequate sanitation and adequate hand washing stations, such as Deerberg's has offered to the public, where they require anybody that shops their stores must wash their hands and dry their hands before entering the store. They offer that in terms of a porta potty type service that fills those needs with soap and water on a multi-daily basis. Fire extinguishers. As we're talking about flammable materials, these are temp materials. Are there enough fire extinguishers on this property to meet with the Fire District Code of Regulations and the BOCA International Code of Regulations? And finally, COVID. I walked in a little bit late. I didn't hear all the new COVID codes, but I do have a concern with the number of customers As my observance last year at the tents around the county, there were at times, busy times, especially leading up until July 4th, that last week in June, the early week in July 1st, I saw a lot of congregants of probably 30 to 40 people in some of the tents. And I want to ensure that we are creating social distance, not to spread the coronavirus virus, and that there's enough adequate space in these tents. Some of them are small, some are larger tents, but they're distancing out on the ground with arrows 6 foot like the retail stores and establishments are. Those are all my issues with the conditional use permit of all the fireworks stands that are on the agenda tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Anyone else? Seeing no one, we will close the public hearing and bring this application back to the commission for consideration. Any questions of staff, comments? Seeing none, Chair will entertain a motion to approve FWK 20-01.
So moved.
A second.
Mr. Fromm made the motion. Ms. Bamer made the second. Ms. Sally, how do you vote? Yes. Mr. Clary? Yes. Mr. Fromm? Yes. Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Mr. Hollander?
Yes.
And I vote, Ms. Bamer?
Yes.
And I vote yes. That passes. Next on the agenda is temporary fireworks stand conditional use permit located at 916 Old Bryan Road. It's application FWK 20-02. Property owner applicant is Wesley Godar. Zoning is C2 General Commercial District. Location is on the east side of Old Bryan Road, approximately 620 feet north of Veterans Memorial Parkway, located in Council District 4. Staff.
All right, this is another application that has been through several times through Planning and Zoning Commission. Again, we look for any letters of concern or any complaints. We have not received any, and we have also received no letters. I will add again that this does require the special condition for approval in addition to the other standard conditions. And all of these conditions, the standard conditions were reviewed prior to submission to the commission. Those include site design, access and parking, fire extinguishers, refuse, restrooms, and signs and banners. And the fireworks stands are inspected prior to opening by our building division inspectors.
Any questions of staff? Hearing none, we'll ask the applicant to come forward. The applicant is here. Do not see the...
Hello.
Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that you'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings under the pains and penalties of perjury.
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Wes Godar, number 2 Godar Court, O'Fallon, Missouri.
Okay. Go ahead. Do you have anything?
No, I thought you called me up here.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Godar.
All right, thank you.
We'll now open the public hearing for application FWK 20-02. Anyone here wishing to speak regarding that application? And for the record, Mr. Dinoff, your previous comments were part of this application. Seeing no one, we will close the public hearing, bring this back to the commission. Questions, comments? Chair will entertain a motion to approve temporary fireworks stand conditional use permit FWK 20-02.
So moved.
Mr. Fromm, second. Mr. Kuhn made the motion. Mr. Hollander, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Bamer?
Yes.
Ms. Sally? Yes. Mr. Clary?
Yes.
Mr. Fromm? Yes. Mr. Kuhn? Yes. And I vote yes. Next is temporary fireworks stand conditional use permit located at 701 Lutkin House Boulevard. Application is FWK 20-03. Property owner is Bremer Properties LLC. Applicant Marty Fears Show Me Services LLC. Zoning is C2 General Commercial District at the intersection of Wall Street and Lutkin House Boulevard, located in Council District 1. Staff.
All right, this is the first year for this location. As you can see, it is zoned general commercial. Staff did review all of the requirements for a conditional use permit for a fireworks stand, and we did recommend approval for this application. We did receive one letter of concern from a Dennis Hall.
Any questions for staff?
Is the parking on, going to be on the lot itself, or is it on the adjacent parking lot?
It is going to be on this lot itself.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? We'll ask the applicant to come forward. Applicant present. Do not see the applicant. We will open the public hearing for FWK 20-03. Anyone wishing to speak? For the record, Mr. Dinoff, your previous comments are part of this application. Seeing no one else, we will close this public hearing and bring it back to the commission. Any questions? Let's see here. Hearing none, Chair will entertain a motion to approve FWK 20-03.
I motion.
Ms. Banger made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Sally with a second. Mr. Cleary, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Fromm?
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Mr. Hollander?
Yes.
Ms. Bamer?
Yes.
Ms. Sally? Yes. And I vote yes. Okay, now we're down to 4. Whew. Temporary fireworks stand conditional use permit located at 3120 West Clay Street. Application is FWK 20-04. Applicant Craig Applegate, Applegate Industries LLC. Property owner is TGL Properties LLC. Zoning is C2 General Commercial District. The location is on the northeast corner of the intersection of West Clay and Goffway Street, located in Council District 6. Staff.
All right, this is another fireworks stand that has been here for several years. They typically locate up in this corner here, and staff has reviewed their plans. Again, they have ideal parking, ingress and egress, and they have met all of the conditions in their site plan. That we have had no complaints on this property, and we have received no letters. Staff is recommending approval.
Any questions for staff? Hearing none, the applicant present. You want to come forward? Yeah. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings under the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
It's Craig Applegate, 9237 Arlene Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 63114.
Okay. Anyone have any questions for the applicant? Hearing none, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We will now open the public hearing for FWK 20-04. Anyone wishing to speak? For the record, Mr. Denoff, your prior comments are part of this application. We will now close the public hearing, bring this back to the commission. Any questions, concerns? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion to approve FWK 20-04.
So moved.
Second?
Hard to tell where everybody is.
Let's see. I'll give Mr. Hollander that motion. Ms. Bomer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Sally? Yes. Mr. Clary?
Yes.
Mr. Fromm? Yes. Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Mr. Hollander?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next is temporary fireworks stand conditional use permit located at 3707 Veterans Memorial Parkway. Application is FWK 20-05. Applicant is Merrimack Specialty Company. Property owner is Mutual Assurance Company Partnership LLP. The zoning is C2, General Commercial District. The location is on the southeast corner of Arco Drive and Veterans Memorial Parkway, adjoining the city of St. Charles, located in Council District 5. Staff.
This is our other new fireworks stand this year. It is, again, by Merrimack Specialty Company, which does have experience in St. Charles County at other stands. We did review the site plan. All conditions were met on the site plan. Staff did recommend approval, and we have received no letters of concern.
Any questions for staff? Seeing none, we'll ask the applicant to come forward. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings or the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Tom Dixon, P.O. Box 305, Arnold, Missouri 63010.
Okay. Anyone have any questions for the applicant? Hearing none. Thank you, sir. We will now open the public hearing for FWK 20-05. Anyone wishing to make a comment? Hearing no one. Mr. Denoff, your prior comments are made part of the record for this application. We will close the public hearing, bring this back to the commission. Any questions, concerns? Hearing none, Chair will entertain a motion to approve FWK 20-05.
I motion.
Ms. Bamer makes the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Give it to Mr. Kuhn. Ms. Sally, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Clary?
Yes.
Mr. Fromm? Yes. Mr. Hollander?
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Ms. Bamer? Yes. And I vote yes. Ellie, I do have a question. This last fireworks stand, didn't we approve a CUP on the front half of that property several years ago?
We did. I believe it's for a, do you remember, Robert? I think it's,
It was like an auto repair shop or something,
I think it was a used car
or used car lot.
dealership. I have not seen a site plan come in that I'm aware of. I don't remember anything, so I don't know if plans fell through, but.
Okay, thank you, sir. Are you up? Oh, no, you have another one. Temporary fireworks stand conditional use permit. Location is 1250 Mexico Road. Application is FWK 20-06. The applicant is Merrimack Specialty Company. Property owner is JMZ3 Real LLC. The zoning is Light Industrial District. Location is on the northeast corner of the intersection of Mexico Road and Highway A, adjacent to the city of Wentzville. Located in Council District 1. Staff.
This location had a fireworks stand on it previously, same ownership and same proprietor here. Staff did review the site plan We've received no letters of concern, and we have had no complaints. Staff is recommending approval.
Any questions for staff? Hearing none, we'll ask the applicant to come forward. I have to swear you in again. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings under the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Tom Dixon, P.O. Box 305, Arnold, Missouri 63010.
Any questions for the applicant? Hearing none, thank you, sir. We will now open the public hearing for FWK 20-06. Anyone wishing to speak regarding this public hearing? Seeing no one, Mr. Dinoff, your prior comments for the record are part of this application. And we will close the public hearing, bring this back to the commission. Any questions? Hearing none, Chair will entertain a motion to approve FWK 20-06. Motion. Mr. Kuhn made the motion. Is there a second? Mr. Cleary makes a second. Mr. Fromm, how do you vote? Yes. Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Mr. Hollander?
Yes.
Ms. Bamer?
Yes.
Ms. Sally?
Yes.
Mr. Cleary?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, let's see, we're down to 7. Pardon? How you doing, Chair? Temporary fireworks stand conditional use permit located at 21 East Highway Inn. Application FWK 20-07. Applicant is Merrimack Specialty Company. The property owner is the Baker Family Company. The zoning is C2 General Commercial District. Location is on the northeast corner of Highway N and Highway Z, located in Council District 2. Staff.
Again, this location has been used previously. We've received no complaints over the years, and we've received no letters of concern. There is some construction that is going forward on this property. We have found, at first we thought we had to adjust a little bit, but as we've found Merrimack Specialty and the ownership of the construction, we found that we did not have to move the parking or anything like that. And we did take very seriously the concern about the safety of the public pulling in there. We have been satisfied with the site plan and the review of the fireworks stand going in there again this year. Staff is recommending approval.
Okay. Any questions for staff? Hearing none, we'll ask the applicant to come forward. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings under the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Tom Dixon, P.O. Box 305, Arnold, Missouri 63010.
Any questions for the applicant? Hearing none, thank you, sir. We will now open the public hearing for FWK 20-07. Anyone wishing to speak regarding this application? Seeing no one, Mr. Dinoff, your prior comments will be made part of this application. We will close the public hearing, bring this back to the commission for consideration. Chair will entertain a motion to approve FWK 20-07.
So moved.
Second motion. Mr. Cleary, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Fromm?
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Mr. Hollander?
Yes.
Ms. Bamer?
Yes.
Ms. Sally?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. We're almost done. We only have 2 more to go. Temporary fireworks stand conditional use permit located at 2301 Upper Bottom Road. The application is FWK 20-08. Applicant is Merrimack Specialty Company. The property owner is Tyco Upper Bottom Road LLP. Zoning is C2 General Commercial District. Location is on the south corner of Upper Bottom Road and Highway 364. Located in Council District 7. Staff.
This is another repeat operation. We've had no complaints on this location, and we have received no letters of concern. Staff is recommending approval.
Any questions for staff? Hearing none, we'll ask the applicant to come forward. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings under the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Tom Dixon, P.O. Box 305, Arnold, Missouri, 63010.
Any questions for the applicant? Hearing none, we will now open the public hearing for FWK 20-08. Is anyone here wishing to speak regarding this application? Seeing no one, Mr. Dinoff, your prior comments were made part of the record for this application. We will now close the public hearing, bring this back to the commission for consideration. Chair will now entertain a motion to approve FWK 20-08.
So moved.
Ron made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Clary is a second. Mr. Kuhn, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Hollander? Yes. Ms. Bamer?
Yes.
Miss Sally?
Yes.
Mr. Clary?
Yes.
Mr. Fromm?
Yes.
I vote yes. Temporary fireworks stand conditional use permit located at 5706 Lake St. Louis Boulevard. This application FWK 20-09. The applicant is Craig Applegate, Applegate Industries LLC. The property owner is the Inertia School of Dance Incorporated. Zoning is C1 Neighborhood Commercial District. Location is on the east side of Lake St. Louis Boulevard, approximately 825 feet north of Hawk Ridge Trail, located in Council District 2. Staff.
This property has also been used in the past. We have not received any complaints or letters of concern. Staff is recommending approval.
Any questions for staff? Hearing none, we'll ask the applicant to come forward. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings under the pains and penalties of perjury.
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
It's Craig Applegate, 9237 Arlene Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 63114.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for the applicant? Hearing none, thank you. We will now open the public hearing for FWK 20-09. Anyone wishing to speak regarding this application? Seeing no one, Mr. Dinoff, your prior comments are made as part of the record for this application. I will now close the public hearing, bring this back to the commission for consideration. Chair will entertain a motion to approve FWK 20-09.
So moved.
We give Mr. Clary the motion. Second? Mr. Hollerman, second. Mr. Fromm, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Mr. Hollander?
Yes.
Ms. Bamer?
Yes.
Ms. Sally?
Yes.
Mr. Clary?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. That's all the fireworks.
I would like to thank our chairman for the snappy and efficient handling of our fireworks issues this year. Thank you very much.
Okay, now, get down to, the next item on our agenda is a rezoning request. The location is 5225 Guttermuth Road. It's application number RZ 20-05. The property owner is Variety Homes LLC. Current zoning is R1A /FF Single Family Residential District with Floodway Fringe Overlay District. Requested zoning is R2/FF, Two Family Residential District with Floodway Fringe Overlay District. 2030 Master Plan recommends commercial uses. Parcel size is 3.47 acres. The location is on the north side of Guttermuth Road, approximately 950 feet southwest of Motherhead Road, adjacent to the city of Cottleville and near the city of St. Peters. It's located in Council District 3. Staff.
Thank you. As mentioned, this is a zoning map amendment request from R1A Single Family Residential to R2 Two Family Residential District with the Floodway Fringe Overlay District zoning. The location is on the north side of Gutermuth Road, near Motherhead Road, and you might say it's near the downtown core for city of Cottleville. In fact, right next door is the parking lot for St. Joseph Catholic Church. Next door to that is the St. Joseph School. And it's basically within what I would call walking distance of downtown Cottleville. Gutermuth Road is set to be, within the next year, widened. That would go along with the building of an interchange with Gutermuth Road and 364 to the west, which is under construction now. So when construction is complete, excuse me, when construction is complete, that improvement will be in front of this property, the widened Gutermuth Road. So it'll be add a turn lane, sidewalks, and et cetera. With the adding of the sidewalks, I think the walkability will even be greater. So that's part of the overall plan that the developer has, is that it will be amenable to walking towards downtown Cottleville. And I think that's part of the reason they're interested in this property. This property is currently used for one single-family residence or one home. And on the south side of Gutermuth, there are single-family homes. On the north side of Gutermuth, our master plan recommends future commercial land uses. Interestingly, the commercial, in our master plan, the commercial designation, as you might expect for primary uses, includes general retail to serve neighborhoods in the community. But for secondary uses, it calls for supporting uses, open space and recreation, multifamily housing, e.g. apartments and townhomes, and other public or civic uses. In our contacts with the city of Cottleville, they indicated that they did not see this as appropriate site for traditional commercial, and so they thought that a residential use was more appropriate for the area. And county staff is of the same thinking in that regard. The master plan to the south of this does recommend low-density residential on the south side of Gutermuth, which would be 1 to 4 dwellings per acre. So because of that, we've got the downtown, what I'll call the downtown core of Cottleville, and you have to the south of this low-density residential homes. There is some sense in providing a transition between the downtown core and single-family homes. So rather than going, for instance, having retail across the street facing single-family homes on larger lots, it does make more sense to have some sort of transition between those uses, so it's not so abrupt. In that regard, the application is certainly in keeping with that concept of transitioned uses. What's being proposed here is not just a fuzzy concept or speculative, but they have a specific concrete plan that's also on the agenda tonight, which is a preliminary plat for what you might term to be villas. In this case, what's being proposed specifically are 18 single-family homes on these roughly 3.5 acres. And those 18 homes will be in 9 buildings. And there would be single-family homes, and those 9 buildings would be split down the middle with a lot line. I mention that now because a lot of times when applications come before this body, there's a question, well, what's to come next? You know, what are we really approving here? And you do have to look at the entire range of possibilities for the zoning in the district. But I would say in this case, there's a specific proposal that's before you, and in fact, it's on the agenda tonight. To the east of this, across Motherhead Road, there's a development going on currently called the Courtyards of Cottleville. And those are 35 homes that are under construction. Those lots, it's also single-family residential. Those lots range in size between 6,600 square feet and 13,000 square feet. In this case, the lot size would be about, I think it's about 3,500 square feet. So there are about half the homes being proposed here as the courtyard of Cotterville, but they're on smaller lots. That's the specific proposal. And the developer can explain more. And if you have questions about the specific style or price points, things like that, the developer, I'm sure, could answer those questions. Again, given the development patterns and trends, county staff does see the property's location more in keeping with residential than commercial development. And with the graduated land use concept that we talked about, we feel that the application for the R2 two-family residential district would be appropriate. And so county staff is recommending approval.
Any questions for staff?
Is Gutermuth Road going to be, it's going to be 3 lanes with sidewalks on both sides, did you say?
It'll have sidewalks on both sides, that's the plan, and it will have a turn lane, and I'm struggling to remember if it's going to be, is it 3 lanes? 3 lanes total, okay, 3 lanes.
Okay, is
total.
that going to be all the way through, down to, through?
That's my understanding,
Down
yes.
to Old Fallon Road?
Down to Motherhead. Motherhead to 364 is my
Oh, okay.
understanding.
Just on this side.
Yeah, I don't
There's
know.
isn't there like a hill, when you just go south of this this proposed development, there's a hill, isn't there? Where there might be some side issues with people coming in and going out like this, which is going to generate some traffic, I'm sure.
I think that'd be a good question for the applicant's engineer,
All right.
and they're here tonight, I know, to answer questions like that.
Any other questions for staff?
Are all the homes, it looks like around it, other than the church and things, are those all single-family homes? To the right, to the left, behind it? What is FF?
FF, floodway fringe.
Okay.
That is overlay zoning district for areas that are prone to flooding.
And then across the road, are those single-family homes as well?
Cross Gutermuth, yes, yeah.
Any other questions for staff?
Yeah, Robert, can you comment on the FEMA and LOMA letter of map amendment section that you have in there and recommending that that be taken out after I'm not sure what they're going to do to do that?
Well, it's a technical change that they would need to make in terms for the designation of the property. Ellie can tell you what the details are, but basically I would call it a technical change in the status of the property. So they would need to apply to FEMA to change it once the grading has been altered. Obviously, no homes would be built, all homes would be built elevated in terms of making sure it's above the base flood elevation, at least 1 foot above the base flood elevation.
Any further questions for staff? Hearing none, we'll ask the applicant to come forward. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings under the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Douglas Tiemann. I'm an engineer with Pickett, Ray, and Silver, and our office is located at 22 Richmond Center Court, St. Peters, Missouri.
Go ahead, sir.
As described by staff, we are requesting rezoning from R1A to R2. It is a 3.47 acre tract of land that we're proposing to ultimately develop into 18 villa-style units. And as was stated, the land use, the 2030 land use recommends this commercial. We sent this plan to the city of Cotterville and contacted them directly. Even though this is not in the city, it's a portion, a very northern portion of this property touches property that is in the city of Cotterville. The track immediately to the east and to the west are in the county. Cotterville did not have any objection to this and as stated, they could not see how this could be a traditional commercial development on this size of track and the location. As also stated, we have a very small portion of the property that is Zone AE. It was said to be about 850 square feet, which would be raised and would be applied to be out of floodplain to remove that. We have submitted the plans to the Cotterville Fire District, to Duckett Creek, and also Sanitary District, and also received comments back from both agencies that were very minor comments about a hydrant from the fire district, and then Duckett Creek has said that they would serve it. There is a sanitary sewer on the very northern edge of this property that we would be connecting to. We are also planning to dedicate 40 feet of right-of-way to accommodate the improvements that were discussed for GUTERMUTH Road. And we understand that plan. We would take that in consideration. We also will address any site distance issues. There is a curve that is to the western portion of this off of the property. The frontage of this property is roughly about 300 and I believe 20 feet in that range. And we are locating the single access point in the center of that property. We feel that this property makes a lot of sense for residential use because it is close to the St. Joseph Church and School. We see it as desirable for the type of units and people to use this that want to be close to the church and also participate in activities. We have not received any comments, any concerns about it that we've received, and we're requesting approval from rezoning.
Any questions for the applicant?
In terms of the improvements, is there, I assume there'll be a homeowners association to monitor the maintenance of that? And are the people buying the footprint of the building and then the other area common ground designated, or how's all that being laid out from the development side?
All the details haven't been determined yet, but it's pretty much been discussed. As you said, there'd be a homeowners association for the group that would take care of common ground and the detention that we're proposing on the property.
So these will be individually sold homes with a common wall between them?
Yes.
Will these be similar to the villas in Whitmore?
I'm going to say yes. I don't know if we submitted a plan that was part of the pack. There was a elevation that was part of this that was submitted. And I'm not sure if they look like those units or not.
I'm not talking about the look, but just the way they're constructed. You have a common wall, and there is a homeowners association, because I live in one of them.
And what about the price point? Have you discussed that and the size of the units?
I do not know the price point. The applicant is here, and we can certainly ask him. If you'd like to know that, we could certainly ask him that information.
Definitely.
Are you looking at this more as a retirement community type of thing with children? What is your vision for this?
We think it'll be older adults that would like to be close to the church and be able to walk to church and be able to go to the activities there and participate in church activities. Also, to be close to downtown Cotterville so they don't necessarily need to drive. They could walk and get to the downtown area. So the thinking is that it would be an older adult.
How many square feet in each individual unit?
And if I will, I'll call on Anthony. And could you,
No, you have to come over.
and he can give you information on the price point.
You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings under the pains and penalties of perjury.
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Steve Gincola, 49 David Drive, St. Charles, 63304.
Okay. I guess the first question was projected price point.
Around 275,000. They're start at 1,250 square feet and can go up to 1,400 square feet. 2-car garage, just a basic great room ranch, full basements. Some will be walkouts, some won't have walkouts.
Steve, another question I had was, are the people just gonna own the footprint that they?
No, we're gonna divide the lots down the center of the party wall. They're actually gonna own the land, but we will have an association that cuts all the grass.
Any other questions for the applicant? Hearing none? Thank you, sirs.
All right, thank you.
We will now open the public hearing for rezoning request RZ 20-05. Anyone here wishing to speak regarding this application? Where did she go? Okay.
Hello?
Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings or the pains and penalties of perjury.
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Vicki Smith. I live at 5218 Gutermuth Road, St. Charles, Missouri, 63304.
Okay, before you start, ma'am, for the people behind the partition, would you wait back up at the top so we can keep some distance? Okay,
Well-
Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. I would honestly like to ask for a continuance. In these times, we haven't been able to get letters notarized. The banks are closed. Everything's just now opening back up. We have no information sources, and we are against this. The residents in the area who are the single home owners of Gutermuth Road are very much against it. The traffic there is already atrocious. The volume of noise, just since they put the new subdivisions down at the other end, the volume of traffic, that's 36 more cars. If there are 2-car garages, that's a potential for 36 more cars. And honestly, from where that property is to where the stop sign is, it backs up all the way past that already. So the schools are overcrowded. They had to redo the school zone. I am totally against it. I don't think it's within walking distance of Cottleville for the elderly. I don't know if you know how far it really is. I know that there's a big old hill down to the church, first of all, on either side. I also know that there's a creek back there that floods already. I know that the street there at Motherhead where it dips floods when there's a lot of rain. So he's gonna build his property up, which is only gonna serve as a levee for everybody else who already has property there. I'm against it. Thank you.
Thank you. Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings under the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Amber Smith, 5236 Guttermuth Road. I can't say any more than what Vicki Smith has said, who lives at 5218, but the schools were so crowded this year that my family had to keep their fingers crossed that we didn't get pushed to a new school because of the overcrowding of the Cottleville area. I believe this gentleman earlier said that this property was next to a parking lot at the church, which is not true. It actually is next to my neighbor's home, Denny Hubbard, right there. It is next to his house. So they're actually building this 18-family home in between two single homes already. When they build that property up, it is going to flood my neighbor Denny's property. I've known Denny since I was 9 years old. So it's a concern for me. It concerns me that they think that older people are going to live in these homes, which I don't agree with because of the traffic. It is not safe now to even walk on Guttermuth Road because of the speeding. And the church is actually further than what it appears. So you can say, yes, it's next to the church in some reasons, but it's actually next to a soccer field, then a parking lot, then the cafeteria, then the school, then the church. So it's actually quite a bit of a walk for an elderly person. It will already put traffic. We have tons of traffic. We can barely get out of our driveways in the morning just because of the church and the school, because they don't have buses. They line up and park right in front of your house. It don't matter. You're going to put all these other people right there. We didn't buy our home so that it could be rezoned commercial. It turns my stomach to hear the 10-year plan that St. Charles County has devised for the street that I live on. I think it's terrible to sit here and make us listen to your plans to make our property commercial. I don't want to open my door and look at a grocery store. I don't want to look at a gas station. I don't want to look at people selling things. This is our homes. And I don't know about anybody else on Guttermuth, but we don't plan on going anywhere. That's it.
Thank you. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings or the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name's Charles Thompson. My address is 5241 GUTERMUTH Road, St. Charles, Missouri, 63304.
Go ahead, Mr. Thompson.
My property lays due to the west of this. I have 600 foot of adjoining property to his. I can already see problems with kids running over and playing in the field, and there's a field between me and him, and I'm concerned about liability. And if this does go through, I would like to have a privacy fence to run the full length of the property, to separate it, to keep that from happening. And the entrance to this property is on a hill. There is going to be problems with coming out and possibly car wrecks, which there are already probably 25 or 30 wrecks a year on GUTERMUTH Road right by my driveway. And I just don't think that the neighborhood's ready for this. And he is filling in approximately a half acre of flood zone. So I just don't think it's too early, and why can't it be R1 and put 4 or 5 homes on it instead of putting 18 families in there? That's all.
Thank you, sir. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings or the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name's Douglas Vitt. I live in Sunset Acres, on number 10 Sunset Acres. The property, I live behind us, where this guy wants to build these villas. And the issue there, there's already a bad water problem there now, and they want to fill in more floodplain property. The creeks behind there can't handle the water already. And another thing, they'll come in and they'll bulldoze all the trees on the property line, and then we're going to look at these brand new villas. And I think that's too many too many homes for that small of ground. Another thing is, if it does pass, they're gonna have to build a retaining wall there or something, and they're gonna have to improve the creeks. Because the creeks flood right now, and you can't even get out of the church parking lot right now. There's so much traffic now, it takes like an hour and a half to get out of the church. They drop off kids in the morning, then at lunchtime, and then at night. I mean, we really don't need no more traffic in Cattleville. Another thing is the tree line on the property. If they're gonna fill in this floodplain property, they're gonna kill all the trees with all the dirt. When they push the dirt up, they're gonna raise the ground up, and all the roots are gonna die, and all the trees are gonna die. And then they're gonna leave. They're gonna build their beautiful homes, and they're gonna leave. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings or the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My name is Arnie C. A.C. Dinoff, County Public Advocate and Citizen. Mailing address, P.O. Box 1535, O'Fallon. The first thing I'd like to start out for the record, Mr. Chairman, could you please add as part of the record an email dated 5/18 of 20 by a Dr. Richard Schmidt and a Lynn Schmidt. They are opposed to this application for rezoning, and they say that they contacted the real estate agent and there was a possibility of a gas station going in at this corner. Also, Mr. Chairman, I'd ask that you put in the record of this application that goes before the county council next month for an email dated 5/18/20 and a protest email from a resident, Heather Granger. Could you do that, Mr. Chairman?
We have those.
Okay, but could you make it part of the record, please?
They're part of the record. We've received them.
I am also opposed to this rezoning. This rezoning, there's a lot of flood issues in this area. And as the applicant mentioned, he is making an application to FEMA to loosen those restrictions. Well, FEMA comes back and says that if he can build his project, then he's going to have to replace those lands that he's taking for flood mitigation. Also of concern, as was stated by several of the residents, was flooding concerns. What about, we have not heard any details to ensure that adjoining residences and their land won't erode or they won't be intruded upon. We haven't heard plans on retention, detention, and a slow release process if this project is approved by this commission. I don't see conditions added by staff. As a matter of fact, looking at the application and conditions, there are no conditions thus far for this rezoning. We need a mixed balance of all uses in our community to ensure a balanced community. What was brought up was the tree preservation. We have a tree preservation code of codified ordinances, and it mandates that this applicant must preserve or in lieu of plant new trees. We have not seen any plan here for the preservation or what he's going to do with those trees in this area. Also of concern is our partners. As we heard from one resident, the overflowing residents or the overflowing population of the Francis Howell School District and its elementary schools. We have not seen a letter on file or part of this application from anybody at the Francis Howell School District. We have not seen a letter from the Cotterville Fire Protection District, and also my basic concern is that that turning radius in that cul-de-sac. to ensure that a ladder truck and a first responding pumper, along with the ambulance district ambulances, will be able to maneuver that cul-de-sac. We haven't seen a letter from the Duck Creek Sanitary Protection District, and we haven't seen a letter from Public Water District Number 2 or Missouri American Water. It's kind of sketchy in that area who serves that water area. But those should be standard concerns, and staff should be making sure that these letters are obtained. It's kind of putting the cart before the horse. We don't see these letters of our partners in there, and I think they have a stake in if this project goes forward or not. For those reasons, I'm opposed to this rezoning of this project. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to speak? You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings under the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Dennis Hubbard, 5219 Gutermuth Road.
Go ahead, Dennis.
Well, I have a problem. You know, they have announced that they've talked to Cotterville. Did Cotterville approve this and that? Well, see, that's not actually in Cotterville, it's St. Charles County, so I don't know why they keep asking about Cotterville zoning, because Cotterville has nothing to do with this property. It's St. Charles County, unincorporated. But they keep mentioning that they've gotten a hold of Cotterville, which makes no difference at all. And, you know, they're also a safety factor, you know, with all the children that run around there. The soccer field, I've lived there for about 45 years, right alongside the soccer field. And then my property is in between the property they're getting ready to build on. And there's kids out on the playground all the time, plus my grandchildren running around my property. And that's an awful lot of people to be moving in there. You know, I mean, there is a safety factor with traffic and, you know, and maybe even a bad individual moving there. You know what I mean? There's a safety factor there as well, you know. And I also have a problem with them filling that in. When they fill in that property, the property level that they fill in will be taller than the roof of my house. Because I live down, you know, I have property up on top where my kids live, and then down below is where I live. When they fill that in, that ground will be higher than the roof of my house, the peak of my house. It'll be higher than that. So any water comes through there, I'll get it all. You know, so I mean, it's going to definitely flood me out. There's no doubt about it. As well as the back parking lot of the church is going to flood that out. It floods anyway. I mean, I've lived there a long time, and when it rains hard, it's a big flood. Well, that property that they're going to fill in, which somebody said it was like a half acre, it'll be closer to an acre that they're going to fill in. That's 3.5 acres. It's closer to an acre that they're going to fill in. And they're going to take the dirt from the top of the hill, and that property is about this much higher than the road, and they're going to push it all to the back. And the property on top of the hill is considerably higher than mine, the peak of my house. So when they push that back to that water, it has to go somewhere. There's also other houses down below there on the other side of the church that will, you know, they'll get plenty of water as well as myself. But I mean, it's going to flood my property out like crazy, you know, so anyway. So I guess that's about all I got.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak regarding application RZ 20-05? Solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings under the pains and penalties of perjury.
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Gary Peel, 5224 Gutermuth Road, St. Charles, Missouri, 63304. I'd just like to register my opposition to this zoning change.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anyone else? Anyone else wishing to speak regarding application number RZ 20-05? Hearing no one, we will now close the public hearing and ask the applicant to return. Any member of the commission have questions for the applicant?
Are there plans for a fence around the property that was requested?
You can't ask questions, a public hearing is closed. Only the commissioners can ask questions of the applicant.
That was me.
That was you. Oh, I thought it would come from up there. You, I'm sorry, Ms. Beck.
It's okay.
Normally, you're just right here.
I know.
Go ahead.
Are
You
there
can
any
ask a
plans for any
question.
kind of privacy fences?
We are not proposing fence this time. There's no objection to a fence. We'd be happy to work to see what we can do to buffer this area between there. We will not be grading anywhere off of this property. We won't be filling anything beyond the limits of this property. It was said that we're gonna be filling this tremendously. We're not proposing to do that. When the improvement plans are completed, after approvals to get to that stage, the county will require us to meet the requirements for the county for detention, for traffic, for the entrance, for all of the requirements that are very typical of a subdivision. We won't be able to release beyond the county's capacity. We will have detention that we had on the slide that shows where that is. The fire district has provided us a letter, which I have provided to the county, which the only item they mentioned was they would like to have another hydrant. They have no objection to the cul-de-sac. Duckett Creek does not have any objections to the proposed development that we are doing. We do not plan on making tremendous grading changes to the site because it isn't very big. And I'd be happy to answer any other questions. The questions on the traffic and the noise and the volume, it's clear that the county is addressing that with road improvements that they're proposing on the development. And as I said, we're going to be dedicating a portion of the road, of the right-of-way to the road.
Any other questions for the applicant?
Are the road improvements going to be on the same time frame as the completion of this development?
I don't know when those road improvements are going to be completed.
I can't see any, I'd be totally against it without the road improvement. I don't see how this would work without that. I don't know, I'm sure you can't tell when it's going to happen, but I just don't see it working without that.
The Highway Department indicates 2021. That's their projected completion date for the improvements.
2021.
Yes.
Has the traffic study been done at all there? Do we know?
No, since this is a rezoning, typically the traffic studies are not done at this stage, but there hasn't been one that I'm aware of for this specific project.
Okay.
Robert, do you know what the curve that's right there, with the proposed plans, are they going to be doing anything to straighten that out or improve sight lines through there? Do you know?
I don't know offhand. I can get that information.
Any other questions for the applicant? Hearing none, thank you, sir. We'll now bring application RZ 20-05 back to the commission for consideration. Now, this is just the rezoning of the property. We also have to consider, if the rezoning is approved, then the preliminary plat is also on the agenda, which would address some of the other questions that have been brought up.
Yes, Mr. Meyer? Mr. Meyer, can you tell us, in the rezoning here, say this is rezoned, but the plat is not approved. So how does this change the zoning? In other words, what can be put on this property if we rezone it, other than what they've proposed?
what could be built on the property, should this be rezoned and the development never materialize. It could be single-family homes, or it could be duplexes. Or I should say attached dwellings, because the attached dwellings could be either owned individually for sale, such as villas, or they could be duplexes. So the answer is basically single-family homes or duplexes.
And as it is now, it's just a single-family home, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. But the 2030 master plan has it projected as commercial property.
Right. But it probably won't, I mean, it sounds like they're not gonna sell.
Yeah, but it's currently zoned for single-family residential.
Yeah.
So if it stayed this way, how many houses could they put on that property right now?
3.
3.4 acres or whatever. 3?
Yeah, 3 homes,
One.
basically.
Okay. It's a pretty nice area for 3 nice homes, so.
Any other questions for staff? Comments? Chair will entertain a motion to approve application RZ 20-05. This is the rezoning request to change the current zoning R1A/FF to R2/FF. So that's all we're considering is a rezoning issue. Is there a motion?
I make the motion to approve.
Clary made the motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Ms. Bamer's second. Ms. Sally, how do you vote?
No.
Mr. Clary?
Yes.
You said yes? Yes. Okay. Mr. Kuhn?
No.
Mr. Fromm?
No.
Mr. Hollander?
No.
Ms. Bamer?
No.
Wait a minute. Ms. Bamer voted no. Check the wrong box. I vote yes. So the rezoning request fails.
Yes, specifically, the recommendation will be for denial to the county council.
Yes. So there's no need to consider the preliminary plat then, is?
Well, you would still need to consider the preliminary plat.
In case the council, yeah.
Except it will automatically be contingent on the zoning. I won't be able to sign any plat unless the zoning is in place.
Okay. Okay. Next item on the agenda is rezoning request located at 4466 Wilson Road, application number RZ 20-06. Property owner is Leslie Ayers. Current zoning is A, agricultural district, 5-acre minimum lot size. Requested zoning RR, single-family residential district, 3-acre minimum lot size. 2030 master plan recommends rural residential. The parcel size is 6 acres. The location is on the north side of Wilson Road, approximately 800 feet northwest of Benny Road, near the city of O'Fallon, located in Council District 2. Staff.
All right, this application is currently, the size of the property is right at 6 acres. And it is currently zoned agricultural. What the applicant would like to do is to basically split this property into 2 parcels. That would require the RR zoning category, which is a 3-acre minimum lot size. We did have a very basic preliminary plat submitted, which is not sufficient enough to bring to the commission for a hearing. So they will have to do a plat with this if the rezoning is approved. And if that's the case, we may be bringing that next month to you. But basically, this is just for a split. The land use for this area, let's see if it'll pop up here. Yeah, there it is. The future land use, as you can see, it's right on that northern edge of the rural residential district, the planned land use. So the recommendation for approval of this rezoning application is recommended by staff based on this land use plan for future use.
Any questions for staff? Hearing none, I ask the applicant to come forward. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings or the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Leslie Ayers, 4466 Wilson Road, Defiance, Missouri, 63341.
Go ahead, Ms. Ayers.
I would like to split my property that I'm on now. I'm down to one horse, and I would like to keep the 3 acres that I have my house, the barn, and my lower pasture on, and stay there as long as I can. So I'd like to be able to sell off my upper pasture, that 3 acres.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant? Hearing none, thank you, ma'am. We'll now open the public hearing for RZ 20-06. Anyone wish to speak regarding this application? Seeing no one, we will close the public hearing. Bring it back to the commission for consideration.
Motion to approve.
Motion, Mr. Fromm, Mr. Holler made the second. Mr. Kuhn, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Clary?
Yes.
Ms. Sally?
Yes.
Ms. Mamer?
Yes.
Mr. Fromm?
Yes.
Mr. Hollander?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. Next on the agenda is preliminary plat for 5225 Guttermuth Road, application number PRE 20-11. Owner developer Variety Homes LLC, engineer Pickett Ray and Silver. Current zoning is R1A /FF, single family residential district with floodway fringe overlay district. Requested zoning is R2/FF, two-family residential district with floodway fringe overlay district. Proposed dwelling units is 18. The parcel size is 3.47 acres. The location is on the north side of Guttermuth Road, approximately 950 feet southwest of Motherhead Road, adjacent to the city of Cottleville and near the city of St. Peters, located in Council District 3. Staff.
A lot has already been discussed about this particular property that I won't repeat. I would say that it's not unusual for applicants to have 2 applications on the agenda, one for a rezoning and the other for the plat. Obviously, they're taking a chance to getting they're investing up front when they don't know yet whether they can get the rezoning. And this is the same case here again. We have before you a plat that would be subject to the rezoning that's also on the agenda, but this body, I'm speaking here for the audience, this body makes a recommendation on the rezoning and be the county council that would either approve or deny that application. But this body, the Planning and Zoning Commission, approves plats typically. In this case, we have 18 proposed lots, what I would call 9 buildings on 18 lots, with a property line going right down the middle of a building. Some people call that shared wall or party wall. So that each lot would be about, or each dwelling, I should say, would have about 3,500 square feet in lot area for their own use. The plat proposes dedication of right-of-way along Gutermuth Road to anticipate the widening. Also, water lines would be extended down the cul-de-sac for fire hydrants, for firefighting purposes, obviously. The common ground area was discussed just briefly. I would say it's about 8,000 square feet in area, but it would include a detention basin in order to address downstream stormwater. So it would not dump additional rate of stormwater onto neighbors. so it would be let out slowly over a period of time. The preliminary plat itself meets the technical requirements of St. Charles County, assuming that it has the zoning. So in that regard, county staff would recommend approval contingent upon the county council approving the rezoning.
Any questions of staff? Hearing none, we'll ask the applicant to come. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings or the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name's Douglas Tiemann. I'm an engineer with Pickett, Ray & Silver, and our office is 22 Richmond Center Court, St. Peters, Missouri. And I would ask that we would table this plat until we can talk to the applicant and decide on the decision of whether we would move forward or look at the adjusting the existing proposed rezoning that we have before you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. This, at the motion of three members of the commission, we can continue this preliminary plat. All in favor of continuing this plat, sign aye.
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 That was two.
I'm not sure I understand what we're doing here. He asked if we could,
We would continue it. We don't table, we continue. We would continue this plat to allow the developer to decide what they would be, if they wanted to continue with this or do something different.
so what we're, as commission members, agreeing to is for them to go back to the drawing board and come up with a different potential
Correct.
plat. Okay, aye.
All right.
My point originally was I really didn't have a whole lot of problem with the rezoning. I did have a big problem with jamming 18 homes in that particular period, area. So if this is being tabled, then they can maybe come back and relook at it.
But isn't the zoning change going to go before county council for a vote?
Pardon?
The rezoning change, which was denied by this board, will go before county council, and they can override that rezoning if they wanted to.
The rezoning, but
Right.
we'll continue the.
Right.
Continue the,
So that you understand, they still can be voted and changed at
Right.
county council.
so we're continuing RZ 20-, no, wait a minute, yeah.
Yep.
No, I got too many pieces of paper in front of me. We are continuing PRE 20-11, the preliminary plat. So it's been continued. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can I, just for clarification, for the record, can we repeat who requested the continuance? I think there was 4 people, but I wasn't quite sure. I didn't pick up on that.
I said yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it requires 3, Cleary. Okay. There's 1 or 2 more, but I couldn't pick up. Okay. You do? Okay.
Okay. That concludes our agenda. We have no continued items. The next county council meeting is Monday, June the 8th, 2020. Yes, ma'am. Well, the county council will we have turned down the request to rezone the property. And at the June 8th county council meeting, this will be on their agenda. And they can approve our recommendation, or they can override our recommendation and change the zoning of the property. Yes, ma'am. That's the question that Mr. Dinoff asked. It's June the 8th, 2020. Now, this time I don't know. You'll be here? Okay, it'll be here at this building. Yes. You're welcome. Okay, the next on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the April 15th meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor sign aye.
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 Minutes have been approved. Any planning and zoning division updates?
I don't have a prepared staff report for you tonight.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor sign aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned.